Hi, so another review. This I picked up today. It's a label printer. It's by Brother and it is the P Touch H105. It's a handheld unit, white in colour as you can see, and it takes the tape type cartridges that we'll have a look at in a moment. The unit itself is powered by 6 AAA batteries. It would be nice if they designed it with AA, as that will give a longer capacity, but nonetheless it's 6 AAA batteries. The device can also be powered by an adapter. It's a DC at 9 volts is what it requires, but they don't supply you with one when you purchase it. I guess the price is cheap, but still I would have preferred it to have come with an adapter and some rechargeable batteries as well, which would have made it much more useful and much better value for money. The back cover, you just pull on that and just literally put it out. There's no kind of locking mechanism or anything, just pushes in, holds in, put it out. When you buy the unit, you get obviously the device, you get instruction manual, etc., and you get one of the tape cartridges for it. Now this one is, as it says, a sample. It's the 12mm width tape, and this is the black on white type, but it's only 4 meters in length. The ones that you buy, which I think are about £13, 12-13 pounds, and they are 8 meters in length. So it would have been nice to have seen a proper, full 8 meter length cartridge with it. They know that when you get the device you're going to play with it, etc. You're going to waste some tape, but I guess it's just all part of their money making system. And also the unit is cheap, so £17.49 is pretty good. If you were paying sort of 50-60 quid, then I'd probably be a lot more angry about just getting a sample tape. But I guess it's the same as if you buy a inkjet printer or laser printer. You tend to get free cartridges, but they don't have much ink in them. So that's the tape you get. These just pops in there like that, simple as that. They do various colours. You can do different colour text on different coloured tape. So there's no colour printing mechanism as such, it's just down to the tape that you buy. So if you say want black on a red background, then you buy a black on red tape for it. I've noticed you can also get transparent tape as well, which could be useful for certain things with different coloured text. I don't know how long the device will last for on these batteries. I've read some reviews, people saying it doesn't last very long, but not detailing how much they're using the unit. If you need to replace the cutter blade, you just pull this green bit here out, and you've got the cutter blade is in there. As you can see, I'm guessing these come as complete units for replacement. I've not checked online, I don't know how much they are, but I would imagine that the cutter should probably last a good few years anyway. So we'll pop that one back in there. So that's basically what's underneath the back cover. There is a window on the back cover, as you can see here. So the window on the back there is so you can see how much tape is left. And you'll notice the tape is slightly blue coloured, so you can probably see a bit of blue there, and that obviously just goes down further and further as you use it. Turning the unit on, just press the power button. So we've got obviously our letter keys here and our number keys up there. Here we've also got options for different styles and sizes. So if you press this one, we can change between large, medium and small. So that's your text size. It says how it comes with 9 different fonts, but they're not actually really fonts as such. They're just different versions of it. So we've got normal, bold, outline, shadow, italic, italic plus bold, italic plus outline, and italic plus shadow. And the last one we've got is vertical, so that will obviously print your letters running down the tape that way rather than across. Here we've got options for borders, no border, underline, round, leaf, title, star, heart, bubble, flower, and back to off again. There's also this magic wand type button. Here you've got categories. There is business, congrats, people, pets, kitchen, sports, fashion, flower, space, and surprise. Now those basically just kind of have their own design to it. You can't preview what the design looks like. As an example of those different designs that come under the magic wand button, this is business design. So you can see it's just stuck a border around it for a little mobile phone and a computer. So yeah, a bit gimmicky really, not going to really bother with those. The keyboard itself is not QWERTY layout. I guess that's probably just standard to have it that way around, but I did find that a bit tricky at first because I'm so used to using QWERTY layout obviously on the computer, etc. So yeah, it was a bit confusing, but you get used to it. To do caps and caps locks, very simple. It's down there, just press it once. You got caps lock, press it again. You haven't. It's a little indication down there that comes on when you've got caps lock on. Symbols. It's got quite a few, including electrical symbols, which I'm very pleased about. So if we press the symbol option, as you can see there, Pictograph, we've got fun, family, fashion, vehicle, sports, hobby, animal, event, food, flower, messaging, caution, now we're back to fun again. So these give you little symbols. So if we look on a caution, we've got prohibited, warning, electric. So if we say select electric, it doesn't show the thing on the screen, it just shows you which one you've, sort of a number of what you've selected. And we'll have, say, to have a no smoking one. And if we print those, and there you go, we've got the electrical one and the no smoking one. So that's pretty much what those different options there do. So next are our pictograph ones. So we go back to the beginning. So basic, if we press enter, you can then see the various options. It's a tad annoying that they haven't sort of spread them out into more categories maybe, because there are like electrical ones, they could have had an electrical category. I think there is a version of this you can buy for electrical purposes, and maybe that has got its own categories, I don't know, but you have to scroll through until you find the one that you want. Now, one of the issues that I've seen brought up on product reviews about this is about how much tape it wastes. And to be fair, it does waste a bit, and I can explain that quite easily by taking the back of the unit off. We've got our print head is down here, and then we've got our cutter up here. Now you're going to lose that bit of tape there, so if I take the cartridge out, you can see that the printing is going to start about here and the tape extends out to there. Now I think this here is about an inch, it looks a bit less than an inch to me, but that's how much tape you're going to waste. So yeah, could have had a slightly better design possibly, and having a cutter right next to the print head. But there is an option in the menu to change the margins. Now of course that only makes a difference, really, it makes a bit of a difference if you're just printing one, but it's better if you're printing multiple items, because then you can just chop it up, etc. So if we do a label, Let's do, say like I was doing earlier, we can do 1. Okay, let's do our ohm symbol. So we have to whiz through. And our ohm symbol there. And then we can do a space and do 2.4. We'll just do that as ohms as well. And as you see now, it's remembered where we were, but it obviously doesn't remember when you power off, only remembers it while you're using the device. I think the standby time is about 5 minutes, so as long as you do all your labelling, or press any key within 5 minutes, you should stay on the same place. Then in menu, we've got margin. This is one of the options, option number 4, as you can see here. And here you've got narrow, chain print, full, and half. So of course the default is full. You've got a half and narrow. Now narrow is quite good, but I found chain print works perfectly fine. So if we put chain print on, you will notice this, if you do turn the unit off, it will remember, hopefully this time, the margins you've got set, but it's always worth checking each time you use the unit, and that will help you save a bit on the tape itself. So we power back on again, it's remembered what we typed in, and if we check the margin, it's still on chain print. So if we print that, asks you how many copies you want, so you can change the copies up to a maximum of 9 copies. So we just select 1, and then you push the cutter down. Ah yes, don't do this, this is exactly what I did earlier. Oh dear, you think I'd learn, wouldn't you? Right. I think it's something to do with the chain on the margin options. It might be if you put it on narrow, we don't get this issue. Actually, let me just try that. Let's put that on narrow and try that. Yeah, so on narrow you get the whole thing in one go. On chain print, it prints and then says OK to feed. Press return, then it's done. So yeah, I got caught out earlier with that as well. Ended up chopping labels in half like we've done here. So anyway, with the chain print and the narrow print, as you can see, the narrow print, you get these little sort of colon mark, if you can see that at the edge, but this part here is obviously the distance between the print head and the cutter blade, so that's wasted each time, but easy enough just to type in what you want and then print it all as one go. That will save you a bit. Interesting actually, the chain print does seem to leave a slightly bigger margin afterwards, so I think we'll change that to narrow and stick with that one, and that should save on the tape. In the menu options, apart from margin, we've got language, width. Now this allows you to set the width of the characters, so you can have the sort of normal size, ×2 size, or half size. Go back. Label length, obviously self-explanatory, allows you to set the length of the label, but generally auto seems fine to me. Margin, as we saw earlier. File, this allows you to save, etc., so you can save and open files. Cable, this is an option to print stuff for cable labelling. I think there's special tape that you can get for this is designed specifically for that task, so you can print your label and then sort of loop it around your cable and stick it together like that. I'm not quite sure why it has its own separate option. I don't know if it prints it any differently, but we can actually find out, can't we? Let's print that, see what that does. Yeah, I see. Yeah, so basically print it out twice with nice big gaps in it, so then you can get your cable and then pop it around and you got a label both sides. I don't really see why you need to buy Pacific tape for it. This will probably be fine. So that's the cable option. Deco Mode, and if we go into this one, you just get numbers, so design 1 through to 12, and these designs relate to what you have on the back here, so you just select whichever number you want for each one. So for instance, number 10 there has got white text on a black background and then black text on a white background that's upside down. So if we go along and select number 10, input text, 9 volts DC, label length, and print. You can't actually choose what the text is that's underneath, unfortunately. It just prints a copy of the same thing underneath, as you can see there. And preview is not very helpful at all. Preview just tells you basically what you typed in. The downside of this is because you can do 2 lines of text if you want. So if we put hello, and then we can press the return key and then type in world. See, that's what we got on the screen. If we then preview that, it just tells us what we typed in. It'd be nicer in a way if they could have had the option to have it display exactly as it would actually show on the label, but if we print that, you'll see that it prints it as 2 lines. There's our hello world. So that's how you do 2-line text. You can't do any more than 2 lines, that's the maximum. And feed just literally feeds a bit more tape through. And unit is between millimeters and inch. And this is for the display down the bottom there. If we type in some text, as you can see, that goes up there and that tells you how many millimeters of tape it's going to use. But I think that's the amount of tape it's going to use after the sort of start point, which is there. So you're always going to waste that bit of tape there, which is a real shame, especially as the tapes are not that cheap. But I have looked on eBay and you can get compatible tapes from, there's some for around £3 to £4 and others at around £8. So in time I shall buy some of them and we'll see if they are as good as this tape. This tape's not too bad, it's laminated. It's supposed to be UV protected, won't fade, perfectly waterproof. I hear a lot of people use them for labelling their plants in the garden. I don't know how well they would actually fare to sort of having the rain on them, but apparently they do fare quite well. But whether or not getting a cheaper tape is going to be as good, we shall have to see. So that's pretty much all I can show you really. There's not much more to it, there's no other options in the menu. That's the unit in its entirety. Hope you found that video of some use. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks for watching.